Hi, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hi guys, how are you?
What book we are going to read today?
This week we have mystery.
Let's read.
What is it about?
The book seems very entertaining and funny, but it has humor but does not abuse that. Also the twist it gives are unexpected but very great.
Ah, okay. You start.
Robert Landon was slow to wake up. In the dark, a telephone was ringing, a faint sound that was not family. He groped for the lamp on the bedside table and turned it on. With the narrowed eyes, he looked around and saw the elegant Renaissance bedroom with Louis XVI style furniture, frescoes on the walls, and a large mahogany bed with canopy. But where I am? The barrel hanging from the bed was embroidered with a monogram, Hotel Ritz Paris, slowly. The fog began to dissipate. Landon picked up the phone. Hello, Monsieur Landon, said a man's voice. I hope I have not waken up. They said he looked at the clock on the bedside table. It was 12:32. I only were in bed an hour, but he was sound asleep. This is a receptionist, Monster. Sorry to bother you, but here is someone who wants to see you. He insists that it's urgent. Landon was still disoriented. A visit? No, he fixed his eyes on a crumpled card on the nightstand.
Landon Croft, the letter by night, a tile with Smith show on the page symbol. High is Hall of Charles Cathedral. He also sit with her more conservation publics, and it was very lines and religion scholar. I would have one of the hotel to start an argument with how sorry Amsterdam London, but is very tiny. Main mousing the recitation in Saint loading his voice in the because in an imperious hipsy. Joe Wills in a very important man in London had no binding. His book on religions, pain and symbol we have because despite he'd seen a famous person in the world on the art and duration deprivation and public presence and multiplicity. What after a hit publicity incident in the Vatican, Sinti they found important and patient art history to how is do seen to have an
If you're soaking, Lion said don't his best not to lose the front right down that man's name and phone and tell him I'll try contact him before I leave Paris on Tuesday. Thank you. And he hung up without giving the receptionist time to protest. Sitting on the bed, Lion looked at the hotel welcome book he saw on the bedside table and the little announces sleep like an angel in the city of light, dreamed at the Ritz in Paris. He turned around and looked at himself, sleeping in the mirror in front of me. The man who looked back at him was a stranger courtesy exuded a very insipid darkness, his face of chalk jagged and dimpling chin in the silence. Great hearts continued their advance and made more and more for us into their thick bunches of back hair. Although his famous college insights than and centered his intellectual appeal. He disagreed if you saw me now it You need a vacation, Robert. The tension accumulated during the year was taking its toll, but it was not taking its toll of on him. He liked to see it was so obviously reflected in the mirror. His blue eyes, normally lively, they seemed blurry and worn out that night of.
The previous month, to its embarrassment, the magazine had included him in the list of the 10 most fascinating people in the city. Dubious honor that had him become the target of countless taunts from his Harvard colleagues. And that night, more than 5,000 kilometers from home, that fame had returned to preceded him in the lecture he had delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, said the presenter of the event to the public that crowded the hall of the Dolphin Pavilion at American University. Our guest today needs no introduction. He is the author of the numerous books. The Symbology of Secret Sects, The Art of the Illuminati, Lost Language of the Ideograms, and if I tell you that you have written the most important books about religious iconology. I don't say it for the sake of it, and many of you use your works as textbooks in their classes.
The students present in the audience need enthusiasm. I had told the present in tonight's review is improvised curriculum, however. He added, smiling at the point of complicity. Langdon, who has sitting on the dais, at attendee of the event made up with a presentation. Let's say it, more fascinating, and he picked up a copy of magazine Boston. London, wanting to air to swallow him. Where did I get that from? The presenter began to read some paragraph of that superficial article, and Landon felt him shrink more and more in his seat. 30 seconds afterwards, the whole audience smiled, and the woman has not seen the intention of conclude.
And Mr. Landon refused to make public statement about his atypical role in last year's Vatican conclave. On those more point on our particular phasnometer. The prisoner already had the assistant in the pocket. Would you like to know more about him? The audience began to applaud. Let someone stop him. Landon managed let have the same in return to look in that article. And those perhaps Professor Landon prisoner continued is not what who we would call a son, a father, like some of our most nominated you people is an interest quadrant up with a powerful appeal or sentient intellectual. His captivating presence is combined with a very strong tone of voice, serious baritone, with his student with Wrigley at the spirit as a wit for the hearers.
Okay, guys, the truth is the story is very interesting and we only go to the first chapter. It is a book with a language a little difficult to understand, but it seemed very sociable for our club. Since we love mystery books and this is too famous book, I am excited that we start reading it. I want to see what happened in the other chapters.
And then I'm going to give a little interventions. Reading and mainly this book makes us reflect and transports us to another world. We should support reading more even it is virtually. Thanks.
In my opinion, I think that the book is very good interesting, and the mystery is the main theme. I also like the characters because they are in the college and they talk about the religion and many holy books, the different clubs around the world, for example, the Illuminati. Furthermore, I like this type of book. Thank you.
Prologue. In 1099, a secret organization called Opus Dei was created. Hundreds of years later, a series of documents were found that reveal very important information as well, as a list of names of some important people who belonged to it, such as Isaac Newton, Victor Hugo, Leonardo da Vinci, and others.
From my point of view, Mr. Landon was looking for very key public statement compared to the previous year. On the other hand, the professor Landon had the very song and the serious tone voice that the students described as a gift for the ears.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.